One. Hi, good greetings and salutations. Welcome to a very special edition of what we call Far Reaches Extra. This is when we have some one-on-one conversation, more of a short form, not necessarily ring around the rosy Charlie Foxtrot that we might have with the usual gang. So I'm your host, Skip Town, aka Micah, joined today by Miss Amy McNamee and Shandie Johnson. Those of you loyal viewers might recognize Amy from our most recent 20th episode extravaganza about all things in the Lope. And during which that time, we go around the table towards the end and talk about things that we're happy for, her best thing of the week. And one of the things she mentioned, besides her abode not burning to the ground, was also the fact that her and her wild friend, Shandie, had just been accepted into the 2022 Mongol Derby race. And I was like, what in the Helsinki is that? And so since then, I've done some more research. Amy and Shandie both agreed to come on and talk a bit about this excursion that it's over 2 years away, or right about 2 years away. And they're already starting to plan and get ready for. So I thought we'd come on, we'd learn a bit about them, learn a bit about the race. There's some great documentaries. There's a lot of things online about this, but it's called the Mongol Derby. As you might guess, it's in Mongolia. And so, ladies, if you just want to introduce yourself real quick again, and we'll kind of jump off from there and talk a bit about this race. And more importantly, like, what the hell brought you to this point where we're talking and you're like, yeah, we're going to Mongolia. I mean, like, I know where you live is sort of in the middle of nowhere already, but even that, Mongolia is going to be a stretch. So just curious. Enlighten us, if you will.
Go ahead.
Now you're shy.
Well,
okay.
I'm Shandie.
Yeah, no.
So I'm Shandie. I just live just over yonder, over in Sherman County. And,
I'm sorry, Shandie. I'm having a hard time just picking you up a bit. Can you get maybe closer, or I just want to make sure everybody can hear exactly what you're saying?
Is that a little better?
That's better. Yeah, that's better.
Okay. So I'm Shandie Johnson. I just live over in Grass Valley in a farm. We have cattle and some other stuff, and I've known Amy for a few years, and this is totally her fault. 100%.
It's on the record. It's documented. Duly noted. It's September 9th when we're recording this, and so it's been bookmarked. Yeah.
I will take the blame.
You can take the credit in a couple years.
I was able to say that first.
Yeah, exactly.
It's actually her fault.
Yeah. It's one of these things, I'm sure. Yeah.
Oh. So, yeah, this was so, Amy, Antelope, grew up in Antelope, live in Maupin. Yeah, we both kind of live in ranch here on the breaks of the Deschutes. Antelope, Shandie grew up in a rodeo family. She's had to break out some of her dad's pickup man skills on me in the last couple days.
Handy skills to have, yes.
Yes.
Yeah. They were coming in handy for sure.
I was gonna hit him in the shoulder, but yeah, and you know, I don't vacation much, you know, or at all.
Yeah.
And have been. The cousins and I went to Ireland a year or two ago and decided that, you know, the touristy thing it's fun, but why not go someplace and immerse yourself in the culture and learn something and do something and be, I don't know if productive is the right word, but.
So this is my version of this story.
Oh,
so
yes, this would be great.
Like, so Amy goes, we should do a vacation with horses. And I'm like, yeah, thinking like the beach,
yeah, like riding some trails, you know, yeah, like,
maybe going out and camping.
Yeah.
And so that was kind of the initial conversation. Then she comes back and she's like, we should do the Mongol Derby. And so so I'm looking in it, and my initial thought was, are you out of your mind? Like,
that wasn't exactly what she said.
No.
Close, yeah.
Yeah.
I think everybody playing along at home can guess what you said. Yeah, it's and feel free.
Yeah. Anybody that knows me knows my mouth and knows exactly what I probably said.
This is usually labeled explicit and not for the children, so feel free to talk as you will. Yes, but yeah.
She said, "Are you fucking crazy?"
Yeah, exactly. That's better.
absolutely do.
We laughed because usually our weekends, like Memorial Day weekend, Shandie goes with me and helps me ride. And it's not, it's not your normal trail ride.
No, I've seen the country. Yeah.
And that's,
yeah.
And that's like a perfect example. Like one night after, when it's been a few months ago, or a month ago or something, Amy's like, oh, it's after work. It's like 4, I think.
Yeah.
We should do a little ride. And I'm like, oh yeah, we should totally do a little ride. So we saddle up with another friend of ours and we go out back of Amy's house. And I mean, that is something within itself, just like going off into this little trail ride, right?
Yeah.
And what, it was like 4.5 hours later?
Yeah.
I mean, we're going down this trail that our horses are sliding on their butt. I mean, we're sliding down. It's not like it's horrific.
No, it's not bad.
But we're like, what is wrong with us that this is a short little trail ride? And
4.5 hours
this
later.
Is our evening ride.
Exactly.
And country that people have never seen before, but that's
except for maybe remotely by an airplane when they get lost. Yeah. Oh.
Right, exactly. Well, then we send Sky King out and he finds us and it's fine.
Oh my God. So I'm sure there's people sitting there going, okay, what's this Mongol race about? So it's about 10 days long. It's 1,000 kilometers, which is like 650, 670 miles, something like that. You do about 40 kilometers a day. Is that right? They have so you go there, you ride Mongolian horses, which are complete beasts into themselves. When we first mentioned it a couple of weeks ago, I was like, yeah, they're like 12 hands high. Like they're not big, but they're wiry and squirrely and and it's just definitely within their culture. It's still what they do every day is ride horses and use horses and make horses, and Mongolians are pretty phenomenal horsemen as well. And so it's an amazing thing, like you said. It's just daunting to think about all that goes into this race.
Oh my gosh, yes. So you ride 25 horses through the course of the race. Yes, 628 miles or something. And switch out horses. They are. So the Mongolian herder culture is nomadic. They are proud of their horses. Horse racing is Mongolia's sport. They are proud of their horses.
Wrestling and riding horses is about what you do every day. Yeah,
right. That's what, and eagle hunting and but
casual things.
Yeah. All the neat things. Part of it is these Mongolian families. They have a sense of pride if their horse wins the race. So part of it is getting to know, befriending these people, and you have a pack of smokes and make friends with the herders, and they're going to pick you their best horses, especially if you're ahead. I mean, it is the cultural part of it is really going to be cool, and I'm excited about that. It's not, so it's you watched the Hulu movie. I haven't yet.
Yes,
I'm going to.
It's amazing. I think All the Wild Horses, is that what it's called?
Yes.
Yeah, All the Wild Horses on Amazon.
I think it's going to be daunting. Yes.
Absolutely.
It's daunting.
Just the scale of the country alone is hard to describe. And I've seen several documentaries on Mongolia before, given some contacts I have from school that spent some time in Mongolia, and just the grasslands and just the massiveness of the country. I imagine there's few places in the U.S. that compare, and Central Oregon's probably one of the places that would come closest. But yeah, just you just head off with a map and your GPS unit, and you're on that way. There's some kind of trails and roads, but everybody's on their own. I think they have certain riding hours because it gets pretty squirrely at night with wolves and God knows what else rolling around. So, some people get stuck between stations at night, and you'll find a yurt in the middle of nowhere. You see a light and you just come hey, guess what I'm doing? I need a place to sleep. And so, and the people are, they know what's going on, and they'll usually put you up overnight if you're asking. But yeah, it's just these distances between these stops, and they're checking in and checking out. And I learned a great thing too, that obviously the health of the horse is paramount amongst everything else. And they said, the only thing that gets abused in this race is the people crazy enough to sign up to go do it, because you know, your horse, when you come into a station, you have like 30 minutes for your horse's heart rate to get down to a certain level. And if it doesn't, then you get a time penalty, you know. So it's really about making sure the horses are taken care of, and even though they are wiry and ready to go. So that was really cool for me to see, and I think they really stressed that too. And I wasn't worried they were abusing animals. It was just good to see that's their approach and their precaution. So.
Well, and they do a pretty extensive selection process to even select the horses that are accepted into the race. They do. It's pretty extensive. They have vets that go out, and they all have to be a certain age. They all have to meet a certain criteria health-wise. But the one thing though is that they are. So the culture is they respect and promote the spirit of the horse. So like horses that are bronchi, they don't necessarily curb that.
No, I think it's subtly encouraged, I believe. That's the spirit of that horse though. Yeah, that's what they're looking for, because they're traveling lots of miles in rough country. So it's awesome.
Well, and it's also part of its survival, you know, having to be out in the grasslands.
Great point.
And you know, they want that horse to still have that fight and that spirit. So that's like, even though they're only like 13 to, you know, I think the big ones might be 13 hands or 14 hands.
Yeah.
You know, whereas for me, I am not a petite individual, so
you're tall.
I might be running along with them, but that's what, even though they're not like the horses we ride,
our big old 16-hand ranch horses.
They're you know, we're gonna have a different type of spirit that we're gonna have to deal with.
Oh, it's gonna be amazing.
And so that we're, you know, like I can handle that with, you know, a young one, but when we're looking at a 5-year-old, you're like, seriously, you're old enough.
You're old enough to know better.
Yeah, you should know better.
But but that's what they like, and that's what they support. So that's something that we're brainstorming ideas, because it's not a matter of if you get bucked off, it's a matter of when you get bucked off. And so, you know, I think we're both kind of somewhat sticky, but at the same time, prepared. So we've got some ideas. We're planning.
It's funny you bring that up. Yeah, I was pondering that when I was watching that, because I'm like, there's some phenomenal horsemen in this race, horse people, whatever. Sorry, I'll just say horsemen. Get over it. And I was thinking like, how sticky you want to be, because either there's that, I just think like, I'm going to bronc this sumbitch out and I'm going to ride it out, or I should probably be smart because I have a long ways to go and I don't need to get busted up right here. And so that was one of my questions for you is, have you thought about that and how bronky you want to get or think with these horses, or what's your strategy, I guess, if you have one in place?
You have the option to, in the first few minutes, if you go, okay, this isn't going to work, you can go back and switch horses. There's multiple horses there, and that's always a possibility. The other thing, and I think it is truly, you step on, you have the horse pointing in the right direction, you just ride it out. They're like, get on quick, go. Exactly. But we have
don't have to give away secrets. I'm just saying, if you thought about any strategies of how to
we have.
Adapt.
Absolutely.
I could tell there's some
country.
Oh, I like it.
Yes.
We're definitely going to be bringing some old school country,
some good cowboy culture stuff.
That's exactly what I was hoping to hear.
To Mongolia, that I'm sure we're going to get really bizarre looks.
Perfect.
But I think it'll be good. Because like I said, it's not a matter of if, it's when we get bucked off. And how do we keep our horses close to us so we're not having
That's the other thing. Like, not only going to get bucked off, but they're probably going to win sprint somewhere, and then you got to figure out where they went and how to get them back. And I think having a riding partner that you're going with, I think, is phenomenal to help. Hopefully it's only one blow up at a time. But I think from what I've seen, hopefully, you don't know, sometimes it's contagious. It seems to be a really strong spirit of camaraderie amongst the riders as a whole too, which is one of the major takeaways I've taken from the research I've done so far since learning more about this. That's probably what touched me the most, is just the camaraderie amongst the riders. Not all of them, obviously, there's going to be that a-hole, But I think in general, it's just these people coming together from all over the world for this common cause of because it's there and I want to try it. I think which is the most amazing part.
Well, it's kind of cool, the outpouring of, hey, I have this endurance rider friend that's going to give you some tips. And hey, have you talked to Bob Long, who won it last year? He's a friend of mine. And it's just, even in the last week, it's amazing. It's crazy the advice we've gotten because there's things you don't think about. Yeah.
Is it? One could almost say it's hair raising, just how much input there has been.
Yeah,
Yes.
or it could be.
Have you could say you've got like a Brazilian different ideas, like that many?
Right, exactly.
That's amazing. Yeah, I knew there was a lot of feedback. That's awesome. Yeah, no idea. That's so cool to know though that people are reaching out. Yeah, that's.
Yeah. Well,
You're literally riding on a razor's edge most of the time. I think that's the thing to keep in mind. Yeah. So.
Micah.
I'm serious. I mean, it's yeah. Anyways,
laser focused. Laser
focused. Absolutely. I apologize. I'm easily distracted by shiny things. I'm distracted. So yes. Whoops-a-daisy. Sorry. Whoops-a-daisy.
Well, that went off on a tangent.
It went kind of lickety-split too, didn't it? I'm sorry for that. Yeah. Anyway, so you guys are good at distracting me. I appreciate that. So who heard about this adventure first and when and where? So how long has this been cooking in your mind?
I was watching pretty seriously last year's Derby. And by the time I got around to applying, it was a little too late. So I was put on the list. I had applied and was kind of put on the list for 2021. And then COVID happened. And so they bumped all of the 2020 participants into 2021. And then Eric Cooper called, I don't know, a couple weeks ago and said, you guys better get in because we're filling up fast for 2022. And so we interviewed and yeah.
How many riders do they take per year? Or do you know?
40.
40. Wow.
Yeah. Yep. And he said they had a couple hundred applicants. No, he said they had 400 applicants for 2021.
I think so.
But I mean, that was probably
an off year.
A bigger year than most because they had their 2020.
The push off.
Some normal applicants.
Was it it was several interviews you had to go through as well, wasn't it? It wasn't just like, yeah, I'm crazy enough to do it, and away you went. Yeah. So.
Well, sort of it was. You filled out the application about why you wanted to go, and then Eric calls and you visit with him about, again, why you want to go, kind of. And we've been Facebook friends for the last year or so, so he kind of had an idea. He kind of had an idea of what our background was, and I mean, there's that kind of vetting. And then the second interview was with a gal in California, and she was more concerned about what our level of physical fitness was. Were we really, I mean, mentally, physically ready for this?
Yeah. And like, I don't know if you had to, but I had to send pictures and like photos of me on my horse. Like
that might have been for something else. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah.
Right? But I had to send pictures
that you actually have a horse and you can ride.
And photos.
Yeah, I have a seat. I can, I'm not some, beginning rider.
Yeah, for some reason he wasn't able to see.
Your Facebook is not,
and I have, and most of my Facebook is of my kids, so of my daughter and her riding, so I don't think there's not a lot of pictures of me, so I had to send him pictures. And then there was the third one, and then it went to headquarters, and then we heard there. Yeah. Headquarters the decision.
Wow. And I think they picked us because we're different. I mean, and Shandie and I aren't your normal, I mean, we're not 20-somethings. And that's really, although the man who won it last year was 70. He was the oldest person to have entered, and he won.
Okay, yeah.
But yeah, we're kind of outside the average age.
Yeah, I think that not only the average age, but probably I don't know a lot about the previous riders that have, or the majority of people that apply for it, but I don't know how many of them live out in country that we live in and probably ride the way we ride.
just go get a job done, and it doesn't matter.
I think that's a fair assessment, even just from what I've done. Yeah, it seems to be. I would gather there's more like hunter jumper types, I think, and endurance people.
Yeah.
For the most part, I think I saw one guy on the movie. He seemed to have a little bit of a Western flair to him, but you really couldn't. It wasn't blatantly obvious. And then I think I told you about the amazing guy from South Africa, who was like a really good horseman. So that was cool that he got to show up there and kind of dazzle them a bit. So yeah, I think that's what they're looking for, skilled people and people who are going to be compelling and bring something edgy to the race. Because yeah, I talked about some of the camaraderie, but it's also like a competition. Like you're naturally built that way. If you're crazy enough to go do this, that you want to go be badass and win, I think.
Right.
And so,
I think we have a chance. I mean, we are going to finish, and we're going to finish
strong.
Yeah.
We are going to be right there.
Oh, I fully understand. Just because I know Amy and just met you, Shandie, that I would be like, oh, hell yeah, you can do this, girls. No, like, I'd be like, are you sure you want to, do you have a passport? Like, no, I'm like, yeah, you can, because I think you got the grit to go do it. Because, people are going to ask you, like, why do you think you can do this? You're going to be visiting people. You're going to be presenting your case. You'll be fundraising, I'm sure. Like, why do you think you can do this? What's your answer for them?
Oh, because we're going to go have a blast, and we're tough. We can do it.
And why not?
Yes.
I mean, so to me, I think I would love to be able to have enough, I don't know how you would do it, but to be able to take someone on one of our typical days of riding. I mean, we start at 5:36 in the morning, and it's not uncommon to ride all day long in absolute shit. It's not like you're just riding along a road that you might change a foot in elevation. I mean, we're riding up and down in rocks, across rivers, literally sliding our horses' asses down a hill and then going up the other side.
Yeah, that's the tricky part. Yeah, most of the time you got to come back.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to make us.
We're not
sound like
any different than any of the people around here, but I think it brings a different. It's a different skill set than most.
Yeah.
Not to belittle any of the other riders, but we have a different skill set than most of the riders that are going to be on the race.
And I think, to me, it's just the challenge. I mean, I am a 47-year-old woman, a mother of two, and I want my kids to be able to be like,
my mom's got badass.
Age, it doesn't matter how old you are. It doesn't matter what dream you might have thought you had.
Yeah.
You can change it at any moment, have this amazing experience, and not to be scared enough to at least try.
Yeah.
To be like, I took that step. I took that leap. I'm doing this.
That's awesome. Yeah, because just getting there is going to be a kick in the ass. I mean,
yes.
It's like, what, a 30-hour trip or something, probably, just to get there alone. And then that's just to land in Mongolia. Then you got to get to where the race starts and everything else. So, yeah, it's, a lot of people that I know, that you guys probably know, probably wouldn't even go on that trip if they were just going to Mongolia to peek off the plane and turn around and come home, because they wouldn't make even the travel or the flight there, let alone go there and get in some wild-ass race that takes 10 days to go do. I mean, that's awesome.
You just described Sam and Rory.
Yeah.
Yeah. You tell our family, like my family was like seriously old school cowboy, and they're just like,
you're doing what?
Like,
yeah.
That is like what? Where are you going?
I asked Sam the other day. I said, you haven't said much. He said, I don't understand.
Yeah.
I don't understand. That's probably, and that's fair. Like, it doesn't make sense to some people. Like, why would you go? It's like parachuting. Why are you jumping out of a perfectly good plane? Because it can. That's why. Because it's there.
Yeah.
Somebody else figured it. Yeah. That's awesome.
I'm just glad I found somebody crazy enough to go along with me.
Which is, partners in crime
so much easier.
are hard to find. And that's
cheers.
That's so important. So amongst some of the advice have you got like training? Are you going to start some specific training? How would you go about even? I know you're already you're riding pretty hard and this and that. Is there anything extra you're going to do over and above what your kind of
I
normal
think
fun
we're
day is?
gonna maybe do a couple endurance rides in the course over the course of time, kind of get a feel for that. I think our biggest hurdle is going to be the gear.
Getting used to the gear. So we've got it because endurance saddles. I
Little
think
than
I've
zero.
ridden an English saddle once, and I know that's not an endurance saddle. So we've got a pretty hefty learning. We've got to over.
Breeches is a new word we're learning. Half shaft.
Yeah, like right in like a tennis shoe.
Right.
Instead of
I saw that.
Yeah,
you know, like,
that goes against every. Oh, we haven't told
told
Papa about that.
Most people ride in tennis shoes. Let's see. Yeah. Oh, that's crazy.
Oh, yeah, that's like a cardinal sin.
So I think, you know, and the physical aspect of it as well, just being physically fit to be able to ride that many hours.
And I think
in a row.
we have a step up, but yeah, it's going to be 7 days into it. And are you going to want to kill everyone around you and just be mentally exhausted? I think the mental part of it's going to be almost probably worse than the physical.
That would be my guess. Would be the mental is far going to surpass the physical. Because if you're strong mentally, the physical doesn't really matter unless something's like hanging off, and even then, you know, buddy tape. But you know, because you don't have 4-star accommodations every night. You won't have hot showers. You know, like you're basically camping on the steppe of Mongolia. It's like,
isn't a whole lot different than fossil.
Yeah.
So I mean,
it is going to be a little bit, you know, there is going to be some differences, but I think it's something that we're open to, and we're not saying we don't have the mindset that it's going to be all rainbows and sunshine.
Yeah.
Like we know there's going to be a suck factor to it, and I think we're going to have to learn. You know, we're going to embrace that and be able to push through that.
Well, and we'll have each other to kick each other in the ass. Yeah. I mean, hey,
that's probably
pull your head out
one
of
of
your
the
butt,
bigger
girl.
things.
Keep
Like,
going.
look, we didn't come all the way here for you to start pouting now. Like,
Yes.
Right.
Yes. And neither one of us are powders, and that's
you're more of like what the hell? Yeah. Grr. So
you don't know me.
No, just read a couple things on the YouTube. Yeah. So we'll have to get the official pair of big girl panties. Like, put these on and let's go. Yeah. That will be.
Right. Well, actually, no.
Maybe just like a little flag or something. Then all right. Yeah. I'm just saying,
right.
Yeah.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah. Or just
yeah.
A patch. Yeah. That reminds me of a lot of jokes that I won't tell on this podcast. Yeah. Oh my goodness. So I have to ask. People are going to want to know, like, are you getting sponsored? How much does this thing cost? What's your plans? You know, it's 2 years. That's going to be here pretty quick, because if it starts August 7th, when do you have to leave? Like a week before, 2 days before? What's the logistics look like on that? And then we talk about fundraising too.
We have to be in Ulaanbaatar on the 7th, and then it's 3 days of training before the race. So you get used to your gear. It's $14,500 for the entry fees, and plus airfare, plus travel insurance, plus health insurance. That reminds me, we need to do healthcare powers of attorney. And plus the gear. So we provide.
They provide
the saddle. We provide fenders and stirrups. And so of course we're looking for sponsorship. Have to say, Gloria Keys, the colorful cowgirl, that's part of one of our escape strategies. She's helping us out with some stuff.
Oh, outstanding.
So, yes. She's
Gloria Keys, colorful cowgirl, outstanding.
Colorful cowgirl. She makes Makatis.
Oh, awesome. Oh, yes. Nice. Well played, ladies. Very well played. Yes. Harumph. Yeah.
A little bit of cowboy culture. So,
and that's some great cowboy culture too. That's awesome. Yeah.
Yep.
So we're definitely going to be reaching out, looking for some sponsors, any type of support help we can get.
Micah made us set up a GoFundMe account today.
Yes.
Thank you.
I thought that would be a
And
good
thank
jump
you, Dan
start.
Talley at APEC.
Oh, I haven't seen that.
Yeah, and yes, one other guy. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You got some donations already. Outstanding.
Yes, yeah. So we are, you know, this is all, we just got accepted not very long ago. So we're going to try to get some we've got to get organized a little bit more about getting some information put together, packets that we can go and present to people. You know, we're still researching, like, what are the best clothes? You know, what are the best sleeping bags?
Electrolytes. What do you? Yeah.
Hey,
Oh yeah, snacks, electrolytes. Yeah, all sorts of things to think of. Yeah.
So we're going to be reaching out to any and all companies, resources that we can get our hands on to help.
Yeah, I mean, everything from GPSs to GoPros to, I mean.
Yeah, that was the one thing. We want to be able to document all of this and be able to bring it back as best we can for
things like the Far Reaches.
Well, for Far Reaches, for all your sponsors, for you. I mean, like, what a great thing to have. You know, like some people show their slideshow or whatever of Christmas vacation at Disneyland, but you're going to have some pictures and some experiences of Mongolia that are just breathtaking. And so, I think amongst all your gear, I think from what I can gather so far, orienteering, like using your GPS and traveling with a map, probably one of the most critical components of the entire ride, besides being able to see on your horse, is not getting lost or quickly being able to figure out where you're at and get back on track. Yeah. That's.
And we're actually we've been looking at GPSs that I am not GPS savvy, so this is something that I'm having to learn also. But GPSs that have the apps that people who are wanting to, they can download the app and they can track us as we're going. So people
actually the Adventurous, the website that the Mongol Derby is promoted on, they do that for you as well. So you have a tracking device that they use, and you can and so that they host on their site. You can watch the progression. There's a dot for each racer. Yeah. And so that they do a really good job of promoting and providing the vets, the medics, the whole thing. So
and we'll have to block
everything but the crazy rider.
Yes. Yes.
Right.
That was well synchronized. Like, couldn't have been planned. It was too good. Yeah. Yes. Yeah, that was awesome. Yeah. That was perfect. So you do have a GoFundMe.
No fun will be had on this trip.
No, just getting there is going to be international incident alone, not alone. When you're finally there in country, dear Lord, yeah. So for those wondering, you have a GoFundMe page. It's Ranch Girls in Mongolia. I think if you go to the GoFundMe site, you'll search Ranch Girls in Mongolia. You guys, your page will show up. I think it's on your Facebook. I shared it today as well. We'll be promoting obviously some more. What's the website people can go look at if they want to learn more just about the race and what sort of chaos you're jumping into?
The Adventurous.
Okay. Excellent. The Adventurous.
And then when you go to their website, and then they have a bunch of different adventures. Yeah. But you're going to want to look at specifically the Mongol 2020. Mongol 2022.
Yep.
2022. Yeah, gotcha. Outstanding. Yeah. Do you know how long this race has been going on? I failed to pick that
10
up.
years.
10 years. Okay. Awesome. I think that's.
And this year was this year. Yes, the beginning of 2020 was their first year for the Gaucho Derby that they do in the Andes, and so that's next on our bucket list.
That was something that was mentioned.
Have I got a deal for you?
Her fault.
Yeah. Hey, are you checking out this website too? There's a bunch of crazy stuff we can go do. Yeah.
Yes, a schooner race around the world, Micah.
Oh, hey now, that's different, by God. Yeah, that's a whole year, damn it. Yeah, actually, it doesn't have to be a year, but someday. Yeah, someday. Yep. Do you bring is there any support team that comes with you? I mean, what's your what comes with? What's your assistance when you're there on the ground? Is it just you two, or is there somebody else? You bring a team?
You don't bring your team. You can, I can't remember the total number, but amongst the 40 riders, you can have up to like 30. There can be 30 people waiting for you at the finish line for the finish line party.
Yeah.
So we have a friend that's
gonna come.
She's gonna come.
She wants to come
awesome.
to the finish line and be there with us to celebrate. But as far as on the trip, like each leg, we don't. There's no supports other than the people that are part of the.
Race
I
itself.
mean, and there's a team that moves camp every day that does. I mean, and the herders that are there that are there with the horses. I mean, it's a huge amount of horses.
Oh yeah.
So 40 people for 25 stations, and 3 to begin with. So yeah, I mean, there's a huge support team, and there's what do they call it? The blood wagon. So if you tap out, I mean, if you break your leg, there is a bus that comes along and totes you. And so that even, I was reading somebody's blog today. That even sounds like an adventure.
Yeah.
Oh, I've no doubt.
Stuck on it, riding
a
two-wheel drive van across Mongolia.
Infrastructure is what you call probably lacking, would be my term for it. So, yeah.
Limited at best, yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah.
So, and so if you do have to, like, for whatever reason, let's say we get a really slow horse, or one of our horses turns up lame or something like that, and you're not able to stay with the competition portion of the race, then you do the I can't remember what they call it. It's like the tourist version.
Oh yeah,
of
like
it.
the consolation
so
sort of.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So you're just along for the ride, basically.
You still get to show up for the finish line party.
Yeah,
and
you've still done it. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You've been there, but you just So I don't know. I think if one or the other of us doesn't finish, we might have to go back for the next year just to.
That's a question.
Yes.
That's a question. If somebody gets a terrible hangnail and has to drop out, does the other one push
oh my
on?
God, I broke a nail.
Oh my God.
Yes.
So we
yeah.
You've agreed that it's to go on without
that.
me. Yeah.
Yes.
Yep, we'll see at the finish line. We'll have the vodka shots ready.
Low battery.
Oh,
still
sure.
there?
Yeah, there we are.
Yeah, still there. Okay.
That was close.
Yeah.
So that's good. Yeah, I think that's something important to talk about before you get to that point, because
turn around. We're gonna turn around here real quick so we can plug in. Bear with me while I move the cooler.
All is well. Yes. But now we're getting the full spectrum anyway. So yeah.
Oh yeah. Good.
Well, if that's that point
shack
of the race, it's going to be emotional. It's going to be troubling, and so to have that out of the way already, like, look, one of us goes down, the other one's going to keep pushing on, because that's what it's about. I think that's important to get that discussion in now.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
And we've already had that conversation. I think the one thing that could that we do need to have more conversations about, figure out what our plan is.
Shandie, can you move a little bit closer? I'm having a problem hearing you again. Thank you.
Okay, yeah, sorry. So if someone, let's say someone gets a really a plug, something that's just not willing to travel, and then the other person gets like a really super fast horse, you know, what are we going to do for that?
Yeah.
And I think we're both competitive enough that we'll just be like, okay, we'll see you
at the next station. We'll catch up when we catch up. Yep.
You can track me. Yeah, I'll see you there. Yeah, because I think that's even in the way those horses are built. So you wouldn't want to have to hold that other horse back that much. I don't think.
Right.
I don't think you can. I mean, it would.
Yeah. Well, there's that too. Yeah, exactly. Like, these don't work anymore.
Yeah.
Broken.
Travel safe, my friend.
Yes.
Travel safe.
Check my condeals.
No,
Yeah.
we're not. Yeah, we're both independent enough. We're not going to be. I mean, yes, the support system is going to be huge.
Absolutely. But
and I don't think I'd do it without Shandie. But yeah, no, just to know the other one's there is going to be good.
Mm-hmm.
So what's the one thing you hope to accomplish or learn from this? Or maybe two, but I think we'll start with one.
I am just enthralled with the cultural piece of it. I mean, I think just being immersed in it is going to be huge, and to share and to kind of compare I think, the culture we grew up in, which and theirs, I think is going to be really, really interesting.
I think for me, just because horses have been such a huge part of our lives, like growing up, especially for me, like growing up around them and stuff, just learning their style of horses, their
level of horsemanship,
their training style. It's amazing to me because here you talk about a Shetland and it's like, oh, those little devil animals,
Yeah.
Right? And so to be on these horses that are just kind of freaks of nature. Yeah. And to have that experience is going to be super cool.
Oh, rangy little creatures that are not like our,
Yeah. I mean, just to have the experience and to be able to learn just a little bit about their horsemanship is going to expand our horsemanship so much more than what we have right now.
It's got to change the way we ride.
Oh,
I would think so. Yeah. I would think so. And I would think you probably have an affinity for that endurance saddle. I'm going to bet you, because of all the time you're going to put into it in that intense situation. Sounds crazy, but
either that or we might hate it.
There's that. There is that. But I've known people who have like gone to Australia for an extended amount of time, and that's all they rode, and they really liked it. Yeah. It's weird. So I'll be curious.
And I don't know if there's any similarities at all, but we both have Australian stock saddles stuck in a closet someplace, and we're going to start riding those just to kind of have a feel for something different all the time. So,
they're all completely different.
I am not going to trade in my big old Wade saddle for anything on the planet, okay?
Never going to happen. No, but I think it's just that experience of a different style, I think is really, really cool, and be open to that is even more important, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm not saying it won't be in our tack rooms for the rest of our lives, for sure. Yeah. No, that would,
Yeah,
okay.
Good. I was just rambling.
No, and just and that's the other thing to bring back. Who else do you know who has done this? I mean, and like Shandie said, it's something that her daughter, can go, okay, my mom did this at 47, and why can't I do things like that? And just kind of opens up your world a little bit.
I think just seeing that picture, like, where's this picture from? That's when I went and rode in Mongolia in that race. You went to Mongolia? Like, where's that at? Like, where? Yeah, is that down by Klamath Falls? No, honey.
One of the girls in the office thought I said Magnolia. I was like, no, I'm not going to see Joanna Gaines.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what is really, that I'm very fortunate enough is that I have, I work for a program, a company, my agency, and the director is so stinking supportive, because this is going to take time. I mean, obviously we're going to have to take a pretty extensive chunk of time off in a row. And, I think we're very thankful and very fortunate that we're able to do this, because it's not something that probably a lot of people would be able to take off this amount of time to go do.
And I told Qualls this afternoon. He was like, what?
Oh, yeah.
Just, sometimes you take vacation and you can still check emails in the morning or night, or
not gonna happen.
This is truly like off the grid vacation time.
My customers the other day said, how are we gonna make our loan advances? You're just gonna have to figure that out for a few weeks.
To work around this. We got time to work this out, okay?
Give me big kids.
Right, but that's where I'm very, very thankful, because we have, I have my director is just like super. They're so supportive. So
it's awesome. Yeah,
we're very thankful for that.
That's a tremendous point, that you have that opportunity, that flexibility.
Well, and our friends and our families have been so supportive.
I mean, they're all concerned about us, like
well,
mental
probably
state.
about our mental health more than anything. But hey.
I think that's a pre-existing condition, really, but I think it's more on the open now, so that's good
I
too.
don't
Yeah.
know.
Again, just what I could find on Wikipedia. That's all.
Right.
Yeah. Basically, like one last question, and then we could talk, sum her up and talk more about the fundraising. But what's your biggest fear for this trip?
Dying.
Noted. Dying, bad.
I think for me, not being able to finish.
Yeah.
Whether it be because I get hurt or because I want to say that I am a badass female that can do anything I put my mind to, and nothing scares me, and that I'm going to go and I'm going to whip this thing. But I'm also, in the back of my mind, I'm like, this is massive.
Yeah.
Like, this is not something that's just easily done. And so for me, my fear is not being as strong as I think I am and as badass as I think I am to be able to actually finish it. And I keep shoving that down.
Well,
God damn it, no, you're bad enough.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I think it's kind of healthy that we have, I haven't admitted out loud that I have that in the back of my mind too, but I think it's healthy that we have it in the back of our minds.
Absolutely.
And again, that's part of going together is, God damn it, woman, you can do it.
Yeah. That's,
and we can. And we can.
Yeah.
That's critical, I think, to have that bit of that fear of failure. That's a motivator, especially for ladies like you that are highly motivated and don't take no and do what you think's best and you want to do. I think you're going to need that though when you're training even now, but let alone when you set off to go on this journey and you step off the plane and along the tour and you're like, oh crap, what day is it?
What the hell have we done?
And then like just the pageantry. I think that's why I'm so excited you're going to do a couple endurance races and those sort of things, because just that pageantry of everything that's going on, you're apt to get a little wrapped up and not remember who you are. And that's just natural because you're like sort of awestruck and everything's just going in circles around you. And like, you kind of forget what got you there. So I think that's important to have that little bit of angst and like, phew, I got this. All right. Come on, woman. And so just looking over and, winking before you take off and go give her hell. I think, that's going to be one of the moments you'll never forget is that first adventure. So I can't wait to hear about that. Sorry, I get all emotional. I get a little goosebumpy. Yeah.
Quit that.
I wouldn't try.
Choke up a little bit. No.
Here's a topic. Rhode Island, neither a road nor an island. Discuss. Yeah. So again, you've started a Kickstarter. It's on GoFundMe, actually. I apologize to those two a-holes. But yeah, you started a fundraising campaign. It's on GoFundMe. People can contact you directly too if they want to go through the app. The app is pretty easy. It's on your Facebook. We're certainly going to have you back on this whenever for updates and things like that nature, because I'm sure we're going to get some questions, and it'll be fun to track over time if there's new things coming up, if something has inspired you to a different degree, things you might have figured out in training. I think that's going to be awesome. So excited for what's going to be coming up in the next almost 24 months today, isn't it? It starts in August, and we're just about a month into September, or a week into September. So, yeah. It's like, do you have the countdown thing on your iPhone yet? Like, so many days till you leave? Are you doing that?
We're going to have to. No, we need to.
It's August 7th through the 20th of 2022.
August 7th through 20th, 2022. The Mongol Derby, Ranch Girls in Mongolia. Amy, Shandie, can't thank you guys enough for coming on. I think this is going to be awesome. I can't wait to track it. Do you have any words before we wrap up this episode to your fans, to your people who doubt you, to those out there thinking like, is this something I should go do? What do you have to say to anybody like that?
Do it.
Do it.
Do it.
Life is short.
Yes.
Do it. Just do it. And thank you.
Yes, thank you.
I couldn't agree more.
Thank you so much.
And I can't thank you guys enough for coming on. And again, like I said, we'll have you on whenever you want for updates and whatever we can do to help promote and get you guys some fundraising. We got to get you there first. So you know, it's going to take easily 30 grand, if not more. That's not even include plane tickets and insurance and everything else. So, you know, I think 50 is a good probably number to shoot for as far as fundraising, because insurance and the whole shebang. But yeah, we'll do all we can to promote that out. I can't thank you enough for your time. We'll be getting this put up real quick. And then if any guys questions, I can reach out to you guys on social media, or me and I can funnel it your way. Again, it's a GoFundMe, Ranch Girls in Mongolia. Give, share, help, ask, and we'll be talking to you two ladies very soon.
Cool. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Micah.
Thank you.